How could we mess it up? Being too zoomed in on the charts, maybe? Not zooming out? Listening to the wrong people? Not seeing the bigger picture? These are the ways I think that we could mess this up right now. What is up, everybody? This is the total crypto market cap, excluding the top 10 in dominance. We're going to dive into that chart. Bitcoin gold rush, as Bitcoin sees this 50-day moving average support right now. Is it a bull trap? I want to discuss that in this video. We're going to look at Ethereum, the macro, the indicator for all altcoins, ADA, XRP, and likely others. So please hit the subscribe and like on the way in. I appreciate all you out there. If you're a replay viewer, please just feel free to hit the timestamps and cruise around the video. If you're in the chat, you already know what I'm about to say. Smash the like button for me. Your support does help. It means a lot to me. Helps the channel. Let's just dive into the video. So there's a lot to talk about. Obviously, the crypto gold rush. I kind of want to start there. It will be a nice segue into Bitcoin, the Bitcoin gold rush. But I want to speak specifically to how that plays into altcoins. And all throughout the video, we're going to just do some nice technical analysis on the charts. So let's start here. This is a clip. I'm actually going to start with two clips from Michael Saylor. And ironically, so ironically, because he has so much good context to Bitcoin, ironically, there are things that he says, especially for altcoins holders, that you might not want to listen to. But let's listen to some really good points real briefly. The gold rush, everybody, is what I'm talking about. The Bitcoin gold rush, the crypto gold rush, getting started right now.
Bitcoin is emerging as the world's reserve capital network. People are realizing that Bitcoin is better than real estate. It's better than stocks. There's not a single company or real estate property that you would rather own for the long term than Bitcoin. So the very simple idea is buy 20 or 25% of the Bitcoin network on behalf of the U.S. government.
So I just want to say, I'm not going to bring up all the Trump posts. I'm not going to bring up all the Bitcoin reserve, the Bitcoin US reserve. I'm not going to bring up all those posts. I know I've been doing it a lot lately, but this is kind of a different angle on this. This is Michael Saylor discussing how the US can position itself as a dominant Bitcoin player. And this is what's going to spur the gold rush. This is what's going to trigger other governments to rush to Bitcoin as well. And we're already starting to see this happen. So this next 30 seconds or so, listen to what he is saying, how he's laying this out. It makes so sense as we enter this new age of technology. It's here, everybody. Don't mess it up.
Government catalyze the development of that world reserve capital network and then let all the Chinese and the Russians and the foreigners sell all their other assets and buy Bitcoin, and then the money flows into the United States. If you want to put a great twist on it, dump your gold, sell all the US gold, buy Bitcoin, then the trade is free because you could buy 5 million Bitcoin for the cost of the gold. You will demonetize the entire gold asset class, and our enemies hold gold in their banks.
You imagine if the US starts selling gold to buy Bitcoin? Check this out, the gold rush.
We're in the Bitcoin gold rush. It started in January of 2024, and it will run till about November of 2034. It's a 10-year. And the reason
So he's saying the Bitcoin gold rush has started this year, January 2024, almost a year ago. It's going to go to November 2024, and here he explains why.
How many people know what happened in November of 2034? It's an important date, If you pull Clark Moody's dashboard, you'll see that. In November of 2034, 99% of all the Bitcoin will have been mined, and the last 1% comes out over the next 100 years.
So 99% of Bitcoin mined in around 10 years from now. And that is a 10-year crunch for institutions, governments, and even retail to get into Bitcoin and crypto. So I'm going to explain how this plays into altcoins. And ironically, we're going to look at another clip from Michael Saylor discussing some things that altcoin holders won't like, but proving a very good, very bullish altcoin point. So let's start though. I want to really just go briefly to the daily chart on Bitcoin. Because if you're looking at the Bitcoin chart right now, what's absolutely blowing my mind is what Bitcoin is doing at this moment of the cycle. And let me explain this. Besides cycle data, we have Bitcoin kind of making nice moves to the upside, pulling into moving averages. It's just a typical move that we want to see. We wait to see if support holds. In this scenario right now, pulling into the 50-day moving average in blue is just such almost a perfect move. Right now we're going to wait to see what happens at the 20-day moving average, right? It's around 99, just below $100,000. That's a huge resistance area. So from a short term, we can evaluate these things. This might be a fake out candle. We might be going lower. We might have to wait for some bullish divergence, go lower on the price chart, but go maybe put in a higher low on the RSI, the momentum oscillators. But that's short term. But what I really just want to point out to you, and this is like when I was, I think, setting up the video, I was like, you got to be kidding me with this time frame right now. Because somebody said, why am I going live? I'm going live. I'm just having some fun with it, everybody. Bitcoin's approaching $100,000 again. And I think we're at a critical area. So here's the deal. If you look at last cycle, and I think we've been talking about this, right? We've been kind of comparing where we are in the cycles, and we've been kind of saying we're in this move. And I think in my last Bitcoin video, I discussed, I think it might have been yesterday, this breakout to the upside, pulling into the 50-day moving average. The first thing I'm kind of like, is it really going to play out that way again? But here's what kind of blew my mind as I was setting up the live stream. If you look at this move last cycle, and you look at Bitcoin halving last cycle in 2020, we're looking at like 250 some days after Bitcoin halving, Bitcoin retraced that 50-day moving average in that move. If we go and we look at Bitcoin right now, this is crazy. From Bitcoin halving, if we measure Bitcoin halving April 20th to where we are right now, to this very day, we're looking at 248 days. We're getting almost an exact technical move, right? Meaning we broke to the upside, very key areas. We're in that all-time high territory, and then we're dipping and we're pulling into this moving average, a 50-day moving average, in such a similar way as last cycle, almost exactly the amount of days after Bitcoin halving. I'm bringing that up because a lot of people, I get a lot of comments from people that are like, you know what? You always go back and you look at history on these charts. You can't do that. History doesn't always repeat. And I get it. And many of you get it. History doesn't always repeat. But if the data has consistently, and the repetition of the data has so consistently remained true, why would we not just continually pay attention to it? It's crazy. And so that's just one thing. Keeping my eye out on. And what's really cool about it is it's like, we don't have to sit here and be like, it's going to repeat. Look at this. It's everything from the exact day, last cycle at this time. But we can actually use it as like a divergence indicator now as well, because if Bitcoin starts diverging from that, maybe that could bring up some shorter term warning signs for us. So it really acts as a really nice technical analysis indicator as well. But here we are, we're on the 50-day moving average, bouncing off of it. And really, I mean, the biggest thing is how is Bitcoin going to bounce around? We could probably look at different pieces of structure on Bitcoin right now, but how's it going to bounce around between the 50-day, and that is currently just around $94,000, and then the 20-day, which is around $100,000. It's just below $100,000. That's a very small range for Bitcoin, and Bitcoin obviously is within it right now on the daily chart. You go to the weekly, it's very clear where we are in these cycles. I'm not gonna repeat myself in terms of what we're looking for. I will just mention one thing that is 100% remains in play is beings the inverse head and shoulders that Bitcoin is within right now or just broke out of. The neckline is always in play. So please be careful for volatility. And this is why I started the video. I was like, you know what? If there's any way we can mess this up, it's by being too zoomed in. So I just did some daily analysis, right? The daily candles, the daily charts, all that. It's fun. We can track it this week, see what Bitcoin's going to do next, see what crypto's going to do next. But if we're not zoomed out, if Bitcoin does start falling, just say it loses support at the 50-day, different than last cycle, Bitcoin starts falling, plummeting to like this blue line right here. if you're zoomed in, that's going to freak you out. You will absolutely, a lot of people will get shaken out. Listen, this move, people have gotten shaken out of the market. People have been calling the top of the bull market because of this move. So if we continue further, people are going to really freak out. But I just continue to say from just a charting angle, a throwback to the pattern is always a normal move. And in this case, it's a multi-year pattern. It's massive. It can take a little time to get there if it gets there. I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen, but right now you see that 20-week moving average kind of confluent with the neckline of the inverse head and shoulders, that $80,000. Sorry to say, everybody, it's in play. And if it happened, it's like a 20% move or so to the downside. I'm not saying it's going to, but if it does, I will still be doing bullish videos and bullish live streams because of everything that we're talking about, everything we've talked about so far. Sailor talking about we're in a 10-year Bitcoin gold rush, and it had just started in 2024. There is a supply shock happening, but the story is playing out on the macro, and it's not so much, on the zoomed in. These are the stepping stones, of course, on the zoomed in, but it's the macro that matters. So let's continue. And let's talk about now the pivot from Bitcoin to altcoins. And we're going to even use Michael Saylor kind of as the beginning of this. So I posted this yesterday. Michael Saylor claimed Wall Street would never accept ETH, ADA, or BNB. I started the video talking about the Bitcoin gold rush, and people are like, well, that's Bitcoin, dude. Like, that's not altcoins. But you better believe, if we're getting this Bitcoin gold rush, if we're getting a Bitcoin supply shock, I can't even tell you enough how much altcoins and the rest of the cryptocurrency space are going to benefit from that. You're crazy if you think Bitcoin is the only thing that matters when it comes to crypto. Yeah, of course, it's the store of value. It is Bitcoin. It's the digital gold, but that's what it is. Every other piece and opportunity and value that's found outside of that is found within the rest of the crypto space. So you're going to see Bitcoin maximalists. You're going to see Michael Saylor just continue to say Bitcoin is all that matters. And you're going to see people that listen to that are going to miss out on a ton of opportunity. So he's saying Wall Street would never accept ETH, ADA, or BNB.
And when Ethereum is not going to be approved, sometime this summer, it'll be very clear to everyone that Ethereum is deemed a crypto asset security, not a commodity. After that, you're going to see that Ethereum, BNB, Solana, Ripple, Cardano, everything down the stack is just a crypto asset security unregistered. None of them will ever be wrapped by a spot ETF. None of them will be accepted by Wall Street. None of them will be accepted by mainstream institutional investors as crypto assets.
None of them will be accepted as crypto assets by institutions. Michael Saylor. I mean, he's got a lot of good stuff to say. I was just using his videos in terms of Bitcoin, and I think he's spot on with what's happening with the Bitcoin gold rush. But man, look at Saylor. Wrong. Absolutely wrong, because fast forward, ETH, spot ETF is approved. We have a pro-crypto president, and I'm not just saying pro-Bitcoin president. Trump is bullish on crypto. You better believe he's bullish on crypto. And all of these securities that he's saying, cryptos that are going to be securities, he's wrong about that as well, because it's playing out very clearly in the battle versus SEC, as well as the incoming administration. These are not securities. Michael Saylor, I'm sure there's a lot of people in crypto that won't like to say this, but Michael Saylor very simply wrong, and I say that respectfully. I think if he would watch this clip and sees what's happened so far now, he would say he's wrong. It just is what it is. But that's what I'm saying. We have to be careful who you listen to. What Saylor does for Bitcoin is bullish, but be careful who you listen to. Altcoin boom loading. And this is another way in which I think we can mess it up. We can mess it up by just believing everything we hear. We can mess it up by, making decisions based on things we hear from Michael Saylor or even me or any other crypto content creator. That's how we mess it up, by not just studying, evaluating the data, and then kind of making our own decisions. So that's Michael Saylor talking about ETH. and we know what has happened, right? ETF, I just saw this post. This is from today. ETF flows December 23rd, yesterday. Bitcoin ETFs saw $226.5 million in net outflows. ETH ETFs saw $130.8 million in net inflows. So again, it's crazy to see this clip of Saylor talking about ETH is a security. ETH will never be accepted by mainstream institutions and Wall Street. And then here we are, and you can just see the absolute insane inflows that Ethereum is getting. And we've been tracking this. If you go to the Ethereum chart, and this is one reason I've been talking about Ethereum so much lately, is because we do have now institutions showing very clear interest in Ethereum. And this is why I haven't been just saying the Ethereum chart is like the main altcoin indicator right now for the bull market and for altcoin season, just because it sounds good or it's like clickbaity. This literally is like the trigger for altcoin season. We have many triggers. Right now, this is the main one. This is the next one. All this institutional demand from for Ethereum, when we're seeing the ETF data and we're just seeing whale data on chain, it's crazy to see Ethereum still not even at all-time high from last cycle when none of this was happening in crypto. You're absolutely crazy. And I say that with love. If you think the bull market is over, you're just crazy. You're crazy. And maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm the wrong one. But I'm just saying. And the same thing applies like when you bring up a Cardano chart, it's the same story. Like back here on Ethereum was bullish, absolutely massive ecosystem. It's a number 2 crypto, right? We know the story. Throughout these cycles, all of these cryptos have just been speculatively bullish. And in terms of the blue chips, the growth of these chains have been very bullish. But that's all it had back here. Right now, you have crypto as a whole living in this era where we have a pro-crypto president coming into play in less than a month. And we have the world racing into Bitcoin and crypto. And we have institutions now on this Ethereum chart accumulating. And whales accumulating Ethereum at the beginning of altcoin season. That's what the purple line is here. At the beginning of altcoin season, and it's still 41% away from all-time high. If that is not the most bullish indicator right now in crypto, I don't know how else to explain it to you. And I know there's going to be people that just comment their bearishness. And I can't comprehend that. I really can't comprehend that side of things. I'm crazy. I'm crazy too. What about Solana? I'll get over to Solana. Dan says how close charts are mimicking prior charts, but still bullish that this cycle is different moving forward. Why is that a problem? It's the most bullish thing ever, everybody. This is the most bullish thing ever, that if you go to the Bitcoin daily chart and we're getting a similar technical move, here's that purple line, beginning of altcoin season. We're getting a similar technical move that is saying we're going to go much higher, right? If we look at this move last cycle at this time, 250 some days after Bitcoin halving 2020, right? Almost 250 days post Bitcoin 2024, we have that technical indicator saying we're going to go much higher. But this cycle, for the first time ever, we have all of this bullish data. We have all of this demand for crypto. It is 10x more bullish. So we have a repetition of cycles, but this time there's like more fuel in the tank. I don't know how else to say it. I really just don't know how else to say it. Bro, I don't agree in upcoming Christmas days. This is what I'm saying, everybody. This is exactly my point. There will be more bleeding. There will be more bleeding in the coming days, and they don't agree with what I'm saying. I'm talking about a macro bullish multi-month, multi-year, even this bull cycle is going to be very bullish because of everything that's happening in crypto. And this comment is so zoomed in. I literally just looked at the daily chart for Bitcoin and said 50-day moving average could fall and we could start falling. We could start falling. And maybe that's the bleeding that you're talking about. But that move is not bearish. If you zoom out on a chart, the way to mess up is zooming in, everybody, and to, be terrified of short-term big dips, another 20% downside for Bitcoin if it happens in the short term. If you're terrified of that, you will be missing out, because say Bitcoin dips, you will be living in that zoomed in moment. It's dipping, and here it is on the macro, and then the super cycle continues. The governments keep buying, institutions keep buying. We're breaking 120. We're on our way to 150. Altcoins are exploding, and you got shaken out right here. It's going to happen to people. It's already happened to people on this very small little dip. It's already happened to people. This is how you mess it up. If you're not zoomed out with a long-term plan, it requires just some patience. If you're looking for immediate gratification and immediate 10x gains, it's the most dangerous thing, everybody. It really is the most dangerous thing. It's crazy. I want to say something. I respect everybody's opinions, their comments. I really do. Like, people are going to have different perspectives. That's fair, and that's fine, and it's cool. But I want to just say right now, it gets me so bullish. I love that there's so many people that are just not all bullish and hype. I think that's incredibly important for a bull cycle. But we have this comment that says, CCV, you're a great analyst, but the market feels so complacent right now. Everyone's like, strategic reserve, bro. Strategic reserve, bro. Does people think Trump is going to be happy to buy Bitcoin now? Dude, Trump has his buying fingers so warmed up. He's so happy. He is so happy to buy Bitcoin. And we're going to see it. I'm telling you. We're going to see Trump go aggressive with crypto in a very bullish way. And I just don't think it's priced in. There's bullishness about it, but there's also a lot of bearishness. There's a lot of people don't even think it's going to happen. Just mark my words. We're going to see a very bullish Trump on Bitcoin. So that was Ethereum. Then I want to go over to some other altcoins, but I wanted to start the altcoin part of the video. I saw this post. This is Crypto Rover. Altcoin season starts tomorrow. And really what intrigued me about it, everybody's going to be altcoin season starts, right? We've already had the altcoin season indicators. If you look at a Bitcoin dominance chart, I've already charted the purple line. For me, it's already started. We're getting this pullback right now for Bitcoin, which we can look at in just a moment. But what intrigued me about his post over here was the chart that he was using. I've actually never seen it before, and I wanted to bring it up because it's actually a really cool chart. It's crypto total market cap excluding top 10 dominance. So excluding the top 10 dominant coins, right? We're looking at this chart. And this is a really good, I would say, especially for the masses in crypto, because I know a lot of you're not in the top 10 cryptos. Like, you're not in the top 10 altcoins. So obviously I'm an ADA bull. ADA's in there. But I'm in others that are nowhere close. So this chart is very exciting for altcoins in general, because when you take out those really dominant coins, you have just where we are, a perfect illustration of this cycle. We look at last cycle, altcoin season beginning. You can see how this chart operated in the months ahead, because this is a monthly chart, right? So we're looking at from the purple line to all-time high, 365 days, a year. This altcoin season just triggered, right? For me, many people are putting it right now, December. I have it in November. And so that brings altcoin season on this chart potentially 365 days. We could have a year. and there's going to be a ton of dips, 30, 40, 50% more dips on this journey, but a whole year and a lot of upside in terms of this chart for this total crypto market cap, or total market cap excluding top 10 dominant coins. So you see a lot of upside there, but I thought it was a really cool kind of look at altcoins and what is in store for this altcoin season. If we go look at the Bitcoin dominance chart real quick, I just wanted to just note something because I kind of looked at this on the daily chart. Post Bitcoin halving 2016, Bitcoin dominance started falling 243 days after halving. Post Bitcoin halving 2020, Bitcoin dominance started falling 238 days. So just about 240 days after these moments, after Bitcoin halving. And now I thought it was kind of cool because I have this purple line. We have Bitcoin dominance hitting that Fibonacci, the red rectangle, starting to fall. That's why I have altcoin season has started. It was triggered. But notice how it's 215 days. I think that's pretty cool because it gives space, meaning it's almost like it happened early this cycle so far. We stretch it out to where we are right now, or even to this second swing high for Bitcoin. Now we're even more in line with historically when Bitcoin dominance starts falling. And interestingly enough, it is at this lower high resistance area. So if Bitcoin really starts breaking back below these moving averages right now, the 20 and the 200, right around 57.3%, man, that is going to be incredibly bullish for altcoins just from this multi-cycle standpoint. Crazy the timing of this. So let's see what else we got going on in the chats. 20, 30% on the daily. I think they're referring to potential dips that are in play. I don't know. Crypto Capital, Cardano Venture. Killing me, dude. Cardano takes up maybe 10% of my content, not even. And I still get those comments. It's crazy. Not even really talked about Cardano in this video yet. It's crazy. You guys are killing me. So let's continue. And what's funny is talking about altcoins or talking about Cardano. We're going to talk about Cardano. And then we're going to look at XRP and Dog and some others. I'm trying to monitor. Somebody said Solana. I'll look at Solana. But a couple of things I wanted to talk on Cardano. It's kind of at this crossroads. Like when we're looking at these charts, I remember the pump coming out of these bear market lows. If you remember last spring, right? January, February, March, and then it topped out last spring, 2024. Well, it started falling into this like just brutal type of deal, right? So we get this swing high again. It's starting to fall again. And I think people right now are kind of like, man, are we going to get this just like brutal, just bleeding out again for ADA? And it's really at a crossroads. So you believe one of two things. You either are somebody that thinks, you know, it's over. We're going to start consolidating. It's over. We're going to start consolidating. And that was nice while it lasted. Or you fall in the line of more. This is where my mindset is. We're at altcoin season now. This move that happened that's a bear market exit move. And then a post Bitcoin halving consolidation move. This move that we're in now is at historically this moment, as you know, I talk about it all the time. It's like what all my videos are about now. We are at the beginning of altcoin season. So that's the difference. And you believe one of two things. We're going higher now because we're in altcoin season, or we're just going lower and it's over. Now, what I want to show from a technical analysis perspective is kind of like what's going on with the move and the technicals. And it really, this weekly chart does a very good job of illustrating these two separate paths, right? Like you either think it's going higher or you think it's going lower. Well, when we exited the bear market, you can see, very critical move, by the way. Like we needed this swing high on the macro so we can start putting in higher highs. And wow, I just realized this potential. I just realized I didn't even see this. Oh man, this deserves a Cardano video, a Sol Cardano video. I did not see this inverse head and shoulders with a rising neckline. That is epic. I'm just looking real quick last cycle. That's crazy. There was not one. It's almost like it wanted to, but there's really no clear left shoulder. There's no left shoulder. This is such a nice setup, everybody. I just noticed this. So if ADA breaks the bull market doors, remember it's that swing low, the lower high going into the bear market. That's the bull market doors for ADA. We've been talking about it a lot. This is what happened last cycle around this moment. ADA broke through the upside. We're at a similar key area for ADA. If it breaks through, that will be the inverse head and shoulders neckline break. That's crazy to me. Target to the upside looks like it's around $5 for ADA. So this is not even what I was going to talk about in this part of the ADA video, but I needed to mention that. That's extremely bullish. Man, so many people are sleeping on Cardano. It's crazy, but that's a very bullish indicator as well. So here's my point though. Exiting the bear market, look at this, right into the 200-week moving average resistance. You can just see it right there. It was a higher low that, out of the bear market, but then we fell. Right now, what's happening, I think, is so crucial. I think it's something we have to obviously pay attention to. There's no guarantees it holds. But instead of resistance like we saw coming out of the bear market, we get this explosion through the 200. Now we're revisiting the 200-week moving average as support. So here's resistance back here, lower. What we're looking for at this moment of altcoin season in the bull market is support at the 200-week moving average and higher. And so we just saw, if we do get that support, this would be the most amazing right shoulder of this inverse head and shoulders with an upward neckline. Man, that's crazy. So that's Cardano. I really wanted to discuss that on the weekly because I think that was very important. There's, resistance back here. Obviously, we went down to get ready for bull cycle. And right now, we have support at the 200-week moving average, that red line. And noticeably, it's within the range of the bull market door still. So on the short term, I don't know. We can continue tracking structure, kind of like a falling wedge for ADA right now. If you're looking at this, falling wedge looks nice. Maybe we get the breakout to the upside. I'm trying to just ignore that and look more at the lower high, lower low trend that it's in, and just allowing more of a more midterm setup. And you see this other upper trend line potentially in play. I'm speculating there, but I'm just trying to allow myself more patience for the ADA breakout, meaning it's not going to happen right away like we all want, right? And maybe it does, but I'm just trying to tame myself and pace myself. So what I have here really is the swing high that we just had, like $1.30 to swing low. And you can see this green rectangle. That is the lower high Fibonacci. I would really like to, at the very least, see ADA make a move to that range, the lower high Fibonacci. That would be a nice bounce off of the 50-day. It would be a move through the 20-day even at like $1.03. So ADA keeps moving. There's our breakout out of this upper trend line of this wedge. But what happens at that moment if ADA makes that move to that lower high Fibonacci? Are we getting kind of consolidation back down? You can see how this volatility can really drive a lot of people crazy. This has already driven a lot of people crazy. Even though we had 300% gains, the big dip that we just got driving a lot of people crazy, that type of craziness and annoying volatility can continue, right? So, man, we're back above $1. Oh, man, we're not back above $1 anymore. We're back in the 80s. But that would be very normal for bull market volatility and also just structured setup for the next swing high. And also, this could be what makes the right shoulder of that massive inverse head and shoulders we just looked at. I can't believe how bullish that pattern is. So just glancing over at, somebody wants me to look at the 4-hour, 8-hour, 12-hour chart. I opened 10x leverage when ETH was 4,500. Is it good? You're crazy. I don't give financial advice. The one thing I always say is don't use leverage. It's so easy to get so wrecked. Very risky, everybody. But I hope that works out for you. I genuinely do. So that's ADA on the daily chart. We'll see if ADA can get that pump as a little bit of resistance, obviously. So crypto might continue dipping. Maybe there's resistance at that upper trend line, starts falling, and then are we getting the bullish divergence that we've been talking about on these charts, meaning we're closing candles lower than previously, but on the momentum oscillator, even on the daily, maybe ADA just kind of sees like a higher low, right? So kind of an upper or a lower trend line, a higher low type of move, and then lower low on price. That could be bullish for ADA. And it could be something we look out for on all charts. So that's that. Let's talk about some dog. I don't know if I should play this video or not, but I posted this yesterday. I said, since dog's going to the moon, it makes an incredible Christmas present. And it really does. Wow. Oh, shoot. It's playing. It's playing. Should I play it? Should I play my Christmas movie? I made this for, I was like, what do I get my two nephews and niece? Like, what do I get them? You know what I mean? And I was like, dude, why would I not get them dog? So that's what I did. Because dog is it's like the most bullish play of this cycle. But I do want to talk about some dog charts. So let's go look at the dog charts. Even through this dip, absolutely insane setup for dog. Just trying to open this up. Look at, and I don't know if you're on X. I don't have any posts pulled up, but a lot of dog holders were really tracking the fact that during this recent dip, dog held up better, not only than most meme coins, but altcoins. The dip from swing high to swing low for dog was 43%. And you can see right now down 26%. And look at all the daily support at this 50-day moving average. This is a coin that, I'm doing short-term analysis right now, and you can even just see, just look at this chart from even the swing low back here in September. Look at that. The higher lows still below $1 billion. The number one meme coin on Bitcoin. This chart is, I don't know, I say it in so many different ways, it's just ready to explode. And so the way in which it operated during this recent dip is just another amazingly bullish indicator for dog. And I'll just continue saying that. I just can't wait until dog has its move. And I'm not talking about the move above $1 billion market cap. I'm not talking about that move. I'm talking about if we actually go and we change this chart. Let me just change this very quickly. If we look at this chart, this is the comparison with Doge from last cycle. And even the market cap of Doge was hanging out around the $1 billion mark around this time last cycle. So think about that. Doge, the top like blue chip meme coin that is sitting at right now after the dip, 49 billion, was trading around where dog is right now this cycle. So if you missed out on dog or Doge last cycle, I genuinely think this is the play for people that are like, and this is for me because I missed out on Doge. This is the play where it's just like the Doge of this cycle. So speaking of that, what I'm most excited about, I went on a rant, is this move. It's this move. And I don't know if it's going to be $1 billion to 10 billion like that fast, right? We won't have an Elon Musk post, likely won't have one, but there will be a move where billions are wiped out in a good way to the upside for dog. And I don't know when it's going to happen, but I will be very excited to cover that move. And I think it's coming sooner than later, especially after all of this, just all of the setup that we needed to get here. Not only from a dog perspective of this new coin, it's a brand new coin on Bitcoin, but from a cycle perspective, altcoin season coming into play. We needed to wait for all of these things to come together. So that's dog. Now, let's talk about let's look at some XRP charts. If I can bring up an XRP chart. And there's an article I just saw in relation to XRP. that talked about supply, because I saw this article. Here's why XRP may never see $100, $300, or $500. And I was like, you know what? This is going to be worthwhile to bring up on the live stream, because I know many of you are like, obviously, dude, but I know there's a lot of people, especially new to crypto, that they need to hear this. And I think it will really help them. So I just want to mention this real quick. Here's why XRP may never see $100, $300, or $500, or even your favorite coins that are sitting in the pennies, why they're never going to see, $10. You might think, man, here's this altcoin. It's like 10 cents. What if it gets to Bitcoin's price one day? Here's why it's not going to happen. XRP has a total supply of 100 billion tokens with nearly 57 billion currently in circulation. For XRP to reach $100, and by the way, it's sitting at $2.32. I know there's a lot of people that are just like, dude, it's going to $100. It's like a 50x. Let's go. All this hype that's going on right now. To reach $100, its market cap would need to soar to $5.73 trillion. So to just show you what that would mean, if you go to coinmarketcap.com, XRP would go from a $132 billion valuation to like multiples of what Bitcoin is worth right now. I am emphatically saying that's not going to happen. So you have to use this method of valuation to figure out upside for cryptos. Do not look at price. You can scroll down, you can see all these different prices, $190 some, and then right below that is one that's 33 cents. You have to ask yourself, why is that possible? How is that possible? And it's because it's the market cap that matters. And that is very simply the amount of tokens in supply times the price. That's how you get the valuation. So please do not be fooled. There's a ton of people and content creators, I would say, that kind of take advantage of new people in crypto, and they do this. They do this clickbait stuff, XRP $500. Dude, sit down and do 20 seconds of math, and you will realize why that's not possible. And then you can start getting into plays that do have tons of upside. You start scrolling down, and I know there's bullish people on all these different cryptos, right? But you start looking at market cap, and you start getting realistically, hey, where could these things go, right? Like ICP, for instance, and I've not done analysis on this. I'm just throwing this out there. It's like $5 billion market cap. Could there be a scenario where it's hitting like, 20 billion, 30 billion, and all of a sudden in this peak bull market, obviously the top 10 would be cruising as well, but ICP's cruising, and we're getting like, a 5x or more? Yeah, that's possible. It really is. But you have to look at the market cap to kind of, figure out the upside potential. You can't look at $11 and be like, man, what if ICP hits the price of, Solana, or hits the price of BNB? Imagine that, $694 ICP. Not going to happen. So, and my internet, come on, internet, coin market cap. What you doing to me? So XRP, I want to look at the XRP chart because I absolutely really enjoy when we get this massive move to the upside on any crypto and just such a flat consolidation, sideways move into the moving averages. XRP, from just a very simple glance, looks like one of those cryptos. Because you look at something like ADA on the daily, not as smooth, right? There's more volatility sprinkled in there. Technically something very similar happening, the consolidation, at the moving averages between the 20 and the 50 in blue. But you look at XRP and zoomed in, and that is a very smooth, nice move. So XRP very close to the 20-day moving average, right around 237, currently 232. XRP might be getting ready for its next move to the upside, which is incredibly meaningful because if you start zooming out, let me change this to a weekly. You start zooming out on this chart, guess what? The next move to the upside will be breaking all-time high and getting into price discovery. The headlines for XRP and crypto in general, if XRP gets into price discovery, are going to be very bullish for altcoin season. So I think whether you hold XRP or not, we better all hope that XRP can have its breakout moment. And again, don't know if it's going to happen or not, but breakout moments, I'd have to mess around with different time frames on this chart, but obviously getting some consolidation. And man, what would the breakout target be? Like $4. So if XRP gets its breakout movement to $4, that's not bad, right? Start zooming out on the chart. You go to the weekly. What does that mean? Ooh, look at this. Look at that. What is XRP's all-time high, actually? Now that I'm looking at this. I look over the chat. I feel like I see people just fighting with each other, arguing. XRP maybe $5. I continue to say I think a $500 billion market cap for XRP is in play. I think it's going to hit it's already hit the right headlines, right narratives. It's like $8 to $9. It's very much in play for XRP this cycle. I say it time and time again when I'm looking at an XRP chart, what's most bullish, we're at the beginning of altcoin season and XRP is here. At the beginning of altcoin season last cycle, it was all the way down here in an environment where the SEC just absolutely destroyed it. Now we're in an environment where it's like, there's Donald Trump narratives that are in play for XRP. They're in play for HBAR and Cardano. And so that's where we are this cycle. And XRP really demonstrates that very well. I know I saw a lot of Solana comments, so I just want to take a glance at Solana. So Solana, check that out. Making a nice little retrace. Check that out. That's very nice from a technical move. And Solana looks like itself is going to get ready to go into. See, this is exactly what we want to see. Like the confluence of multiple altcoins getting ready, getting set up. This is weeks. This is months in the making, I should say. This swing high back here was March 2024. Tons of consolidation, ton of hype for Solana, outperforming much of the market. If you remember back there, falls into a consolidation, now setting up for altcoin season. Here's the move out of the upper trend line, the throwback to the trend line. Confluent is the 20-week, the 50-week. I'm not like a Solana fan, you all know that, but I value every single altcoin chart because these charts put together are the roadmap for altcoin season. So even though I'm not a Solana bull, I'm very bullish on this chart for altcoins. I'm very bullish on this chart for XRP, for ADA, for DOG, for Algo, for XLM, everything. Because we get this throwback to the trend line. It will be amazing as we start the new year if we do see altcoins start cruising to the upside, target to the upside, $400 plus for Solana as the next move. But notice how something like Solana, it's already up there in market cap. It's sitting up there higher, right? So the upside potential after all of this move, not as massive. I think Cardano is one of the top 10 blue chips that still has that kind of massive upside in terms of what could happen. And I know, there's a lot of people that don't think Cardano is bullish, but it's actually, I would say, one of the most bullish from a gains perspective, blue chip. So that's Solana. We got Sui. Sui is one of those that's just, I don't know. It's hard to chart. There's so much upside, so much hype. It could probably end the bull market in the top 10 and just absolutely go insane. But you can even see it's even close to just continuing price discovery right now. If I go to the daily chart, what is going on the daily? Interesting to see Sui. Like we've seen so many altcoins that have really made a move to the upside, and then they're pulling down into the 20 and 50. And it's almost like this chart is just like higher highs and higher lows just above those areas. There's not been like a lot of just crazy separation, volatility back down. It's just been like very gently, slow growth. And right now, about to enter price discovery again. If we get some type of breakout for altcoins, Sui will be making headlines in that regard as well. Solana pumping? I don't think Solana's pumping right now. That's it though, everybody. That's what's going on. Bitcoin supply shock, crypto supply shock. I hope you're all doing well out there. I want to end this video by mentioning the most important thing. Okay. Sometimes I just have to ban people. Somebody said I'm giving dog a little pump. I don't think so. I mean, you can just see there's so much upward pressure and upward momentum. Man, if Bitcoin is getting ready to make a bullish move, this is going to be very explosive, this chart, especially now at this moment. I think the next leg up, if crypto is going higher, is finally going to be the $1 billion milestone. So, but yeah, above everything, everybody, as you know, tomorrow's Christmas. Right now it's Christmas Eve. Wanted to get this video out. I doubt I'm going to be doing a video tomorrow unless something crazy is happening. But most importantly, this is a post from X from last year. This is, Christmas trees, presents, silly videos like this for my niece and two nephews. None of that matters compared to this. Jesus Christ, Son of God, became man, walked earth, and sacrificed his life to show his love for us. Here's the deal, everybody. We get so wrapped up in short-term price action of crypto, and we get so wrapped up even from a Christmas standpoint, presents and all this stuff, and literally none of it matters except for really what this is all about. And it is about, we're broken people. We need a savior. We needed a savior. And this is what Christmas is about. The Santa hats and all this stuff that you see, it's about this. The perfect and eternal plan to save us all. Thank you, Jesus. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior who is Christ the Lord. Luke 2:11. Merry Christmas. That's it, everybody. I'm telling you. And if you're out there, because Christmas can be a very tough time of year for a lot of people. And I realize that. There's so many anxieties in life. And just go sit down, talk to God. Give your life to God. Accept Jesus. It is all that matters, everybody. I'm telling you. This life is so short. And so what we're celebrating, whether December 25th is the exact date of Jesus' birth, people debate that. What we're celebrating is everything, every day of the year. And that's him, Jesus Christ, King of Kings, God becoming man to die for us, to show his love for us broken people, us sinners, so that when we are anxious, when we're having a tough Christmas or a tough spring or summer, fall or winter, he is there constantly. So that's it, everybody. Wanted to mention that. I appreciate you cruising through. Merry Christmas. God bless you all. And if you're not a subscriber out there, subscribe, turn notifications on. It's going to be, I just think it's going to be a very fun bull market. So I'll see you all in the next video. God bless.